Diagnosing car problems has always been a challenge, but ever since our cars have become computer controlled, it's even more so. Reading codes and data is now an absolute necessity. Now think about this. There's a good chance you may be watching this video on your smartphone, right? So it shouldn't come as any surprise that our diagnostics have progressed up to our smartphones as well. So I'm going to show you a smartphone Bluetooth app that you're probably going to want. It's the Autel AP200. Many of us in the trade have spent a great deal of money buying scanners and tools just through diagnostics. Now I am not going to tell you that this can do the same thing as these tools. It can't, but it still deserves your attention. Now this is not a product review where someone simply unpacks the tool and talks about how cool it is. Instead, I'm going to tell you what this tool can and cannot do. Then you can make the decision yourself. Now I know that there are various levels of experience out there. Some of you have been doing this stuff for years and are good at it. And some of you prefer to do things yourself, and others are at various levels of learning the trade. So to keep this video relevant to all of these groups, I'm going to lump you all into two groups, experienced and learners. You can decide which group you're in. And then as we proceed, I'm going to do my best to explain how this tool can help both of these groups. So let's get started. So this is what we call a dongle, or a piece of computer hardware that attaches to the primary computer, which is in your vehicle. Therefore, it allows a pass-through to all the different network of computers in your vehicle. And there are various brands of these out there. This one just happens to be by Autel. Now this is the version by Autel that is larger, more capable, and more expensive. Now, I am not going to tell you that this dongle can do everything that can. It can't, but it still deserves your attention. It's small enough to fit in your pocket, and your phone is already in your other pocket. Here's what the app looks like, and when you open the app, you're going to see the home screen. Now, the three main tabs are the EOBD, or generic, service, and history. And below that, you're going to see the software that you have installed. The demo and the EOBD are included with your purchase of the tool. Now you can see that I bought the Ford and the GM software. They're listed down below. Now you can add more vehicles simply by scrolling down, looking at all the different ones that are there, selecting whichever one you want. And you can see that they are all $21.99 for each one that you want. And by the way, that $21.99 is for 1 year. Now compare that to the cost of the yearly update for your current scan tool. Now back to the home screen. I'm going to choose GM to show you how all this works. As you move forward, you will be asked to select things. This is the VIN identification. Some older cars won't let you choose automatic, so you would choose manual and enter the VIN number yourself. I'm going to choose the automatic selection. Now down at the bottom you'll see the button for read. If the tool has the ability, it will read and enter the VIN number for you. As you move forward, there will be more choices. Mine does not have trailer brakes, and I have a regular production. Here are the results of your selections. Now once you verified the correct vehicle, you simply choose yes and the communication begins. Now you can see in the background that my dashboard is lit up, so the key is on, but there are no RPMs, so the engine is not running. Now this takes a few seconds, and then there are some more choices to make. Now those of you already familiar with just about any scan tool out there will recognize this as standard procedure. Now to anyone learning, you're going to be asked to choose either auto scan or a control unit. Most of the time we will choose auto scan so that the tool can scan all the different control units in the vehicle. As it scans each control unit, it reports if and how many codes it finds. Now you'll see the progress bar across the top as it continues. Notice that it does not identify the code, just how many it is found in each controller. To see the actual code, you would need to go to that control unit and actually read the code. So let's just watch as this works. To save some time, I'm going to speed up to the end. Now once it is complete, it will report 100%. Now the ECM is reporting one fault or one code. To see what that code is, you need to select the ECM module. Now you have some more choices. The ECU information displays just that, information about the ECM. So you have to go back, select the trouble codes, and then read the code. Let's choose the current codes. And there it is, P0573-00. The brake switch circuit number 1 has high voltage. If you want to save this to review later, it's as simple as selecting Save as a PDF. The file will be assigned a number corresponding to the date and that file. Now you may want more information about this code, so watch this. It's pretty cool. Go down to the search button. It takes you right to Google, right from the app, right on your phone. It gives you more detailed explanation. And just like any Google search, it shows you links, videos, and other sites that could be helpful as you explore this code. When you're ready, just simply escape out of here. Next, you can go to freeze frame. Now, if you're not familiar with freeze frame, that's really a lesson all of its own. But it will give you the exact data that was stored at the time the code was reported. Now, that's way too information to try to remember, so simply save it as a PDF so that you can refer back to it. As we continue, let's go back and take a look at live data. If you go back to the RPM gauge, you can see that the engine is not running. So let's start it so that we can actually see live data in real time. And it's broken into various subgroups. And since we have an engine code, let's go to the engine group. Here it is, and you can see that it's live. I'm going to zoom in so that you can see it better. Now watch as I raise the RPMs. Sometimes it is more helpful to look at it as a graph. So to change the display, simply select the tool icon and you can see the 3 option choices. A is for analog or digital numbers, graph is for graph, and gauge is to display it like a gauge. Now you choose the display type you want, and then you just have to go back to see it in that format. Now you can see that it is still live data and it is being plotted as a graph as it happens. Now remember, this is not a lab scope. It is live digital data being displayed in the graph form. And if you would rather see it as a gauge, simply go back, select gauge, and go back to live, and there it is. Now it's important to note, as you change the display option, it does so just for that particular data PID that you're looking at, and you can select as many different data PIDs as you want. When you're ready, let's go back to live data, and let's look at another one. Let's look at engine temperature. Now you know engine coolant does not change as rapidly as the RPM, but watching this graph might make it a little bit easier to spot dropouts or sudden spikes that could be abnormal. Let's say that you want to watch the mass airflow data. Simply select it, change it to a graph, and watch it as it performs. Let's say that you want to watch the TPS signal. Same thing, just simply select it and you can see how it's doing. How about the O2 sensors? Same thing, simply graph it. And be sure to notice this. It displays the graph so that you can see it move, but it also displays the digital numbers so you can see how high and low it moves. And by now you've got a whole lot of information in your head, and sometimes it's hard to remember it all, so simply save any of it that you want as a PDF. Now remember I said you can select more than one graph? How about the O2s, Bank 1 and Bank 2? Let's look at them together. There they are. Look through this list of live data options. You can see that they're all there. And there is live data for all the other categories as well. Now, if I were to go into each category, this video would be hours long. Just know if you want the data, it's there. I'm going to show you more of what this tool can do, like save, print, and send files, access service information, and historical information. I'll put all that in part 2 of this video. But by now you've probably formed your opinion about this tool. If you're a pro and you already have one of these, no, it is not going to replace the tool or do a better job. But you don't always have these available, do you? Like when your neighbor or a relative comes by and asks you to take a look at their car, or maybe you're out of town and you've come across someone who's broke down and needs some advice. If you're a do-it-yourselfer and you enjoy the challenge of figuring out what's wrong with cars, then you need information. This tool is a great starting place. It can give you information, and it's the same information that the pros use. If you want one of these, you can pick them up at your local parts store or your tool truck. Online, Amazon, eBay, and even Walmart have them available. Check it out, and be sure and watch part 2 of the video.